Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man? Going good over here.
Oh man, doing excellent, man. How's our weekend and everything so far?
That's good. We surviving.
Surviving is the word. Yeah, doing good over here. Very busy. How about you?
I'm partially snowed in. You know,
Snowed in.
In a weird place. I'm in we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and had a conference I was speaking at earlier today. And the conference was good. The snow was unexpected, for not only myself, but people who live here. It was very unexpected as well. So shout out to Albuquerque.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I've never been out there. Did you see an armadillo in the snow?
Is that what Albuquerque's known for? No, I did not. But is that what they're known for? Is it like, seeing a moose in Wyoming?
Where was Breaking Bad? Where was that taking place? Is that Albuquerque?
Is it in Arizona? Or maybe it was Albuquerque. I don't know. Only thing I know about Albuquerque is Bugs Bunny. That's where he always went. It was
Goodbye.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
That's it.
You got to make a left at Albuquerque.
I make a left at Albuquerque. That's all I know.
Good all the way by, man. That's funny. Man, any exciting projects you guys working on? Throughout the week.
Continued my work with the old Replit agents there, and came up with an interesting approach, which was to start small. So have your Replit agent create something small like a module, and then have it create documentation for it, and then feed that into another Replit agent that you make, and say, add this to an existing application, or add this module to a new maybe CRM backend or something. And you just piecemeal build as you go. And, it's an approach, but I've been having fun making a project with that for social media posting. And been able to get, kind of front end, back end, pretty much actualized, nothing scalable or, ready to go yet. I just got a notification in the mail that 100% of my Replit usage has been used. So
impressive.
Yeah. So
with that too, I think so many people are trying to figure out this automation around social media. So if you can be able to like really put something together there, it's tons of customers that you'll have access to. Because I think people understand the importance of it. But just the day-to-day management of it is what everybody's like, they're trying to avoid it.
The big sticking point right now is Instagram, because in order to communicate with them still, you have to use a private API, which is, there's ways to do it, but it's not the best approach. It's not an official approach. So it just makes a risk of, launching something to the wider public or whatnot. It makes that a little bit less promising because they could change their API at any moment. So that's the only drawback. This will be used just specifically for my company and selected others who no, we're not gonna do a sweepstakes. We're not gonna do it. But anyway, it's been a fun project.
Tune in. I mean, this may become a AI with friends private workshop for the community in the future, and so that could be a thing. Sekou, what about you, man? Building anything interesting out there?
Lately, not really building. Just being a user. I just took a week off and started using some of this time to I don't know. I do find doing free thinking with ChatGPT voice pretty useful. So I'm just going through my different thoughts, just analyzing them, putting them through. Of course, you don't have access to O1 preview for that particular feature set. So always take that. You have that extra steps I wonder what O1 preview would say. So you go through your whole process, you copy it, you stuff it in O1 preview, and hopefully you get something interesting. So far, it's been pretty good.
Do you find yourself using still using for Omni over O1 preview like on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I hit it at least once or twice a day. I can get, most things don't require that. I've actually been having a lot of fun on the the search feature on ChatGPT they just released, which is pretty good.
I would like to point out that I'm the first one that got access to that on this team and stuff here. I've had access to chat search for probably like 4 months, 4 months.
4 months. Wow.
You know.
Now give us a breakdown. Like, give us a little bit. Like, so chat search. Like, what's that?
Well, for me, I just use it just for searching the web. Same way you use search web Google, or actually, it actually is more comparable to Perplexity if you're searching for that, right?
Yeah, interesting.
Give you rich results and links to all the different things that connect to your different search, and it's super useful. And this direct competitor to Google, like it's way more useful doing a search on OpenAI than it is on Google right now, which I'm sure that can't feel good.
You know what's interesting? I changed my main search browser to be ChatGPT search. I changed it and I wanted to see what my experience would be like. I ended up changing it back to Google.
Really?
Some of the things that became annoying was, like, for example, basic things. If I forget how to spell Wednesday, I just throw it in Google and it comes back and it spells Wednesday. Versus, I don't want the history of why Wednesday was created. I don't want the origin
You're doing
story.
Too much.
Yeah, I don't want the origin story because, like, it would basically Google put at the top everything and it spell out. Or if I need to do a quick Google search for like restaurants, it doesn't work well, on the location aspect of with ChatGPT search, and so or Search GPT, and so I ended up switching it back. It became too annoying on my end, and so I was kind of have to do double searches a lot, so I just kind of end up switching it back. But now to be able to insert the search within your prompt, I think that works a lot better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. That's been my week pretty much.
Yeah. On my end, I finally touched over to real-time API, and so I finally got over there, and kind of got into those waters and stuff, if you will. And man, I had to create boundaries around some of the projects that I was doing and building. So I was finish up a project for a client, and I caught myself adding, I'm not gonna say unnecessary features that I was trying to figure out, can it really work? Can it really be built? But it also wasn't underneath the scope of the project. Now they would have been ecstatic, but also too would have started to kind of eat into my own budget, stuff on my end. And so I had to kind of like reel my stuff back in. But it's been interesting things and stuff around that as well. There's definitely a lot of like use cases and nuances around that. And some things to have to figure out. But once it scales and everything, it has a significant amount of opportunities to go there with real-time API.
That's cool.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Well, let's get started here. Anthropic, they're doing some interesting things over here. So here we go. Anthropic has joined forces with Palantir and AWS to offer Claude AI models to U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency. This partnership allows Anthropic Cloud models to operate within Palantir's Impact Level 6 environment, which is a high secure system for classified data. This collaboration is intended to streamline intelligence analysis and operation efficiencies, helping official process complex data more rapidly, make better informed decisions, And also, too, along as well, Meta also has announced that it will make its Llama models available to U.S. government agencies and defense contracts. A notable move for kind of concerns, with AI aiding foreign enemies and stuff there. So, guys, what's your thoughts? Anything Meta and Palantir now? I'm sorry, not Meta. Well, Meta and Anthropic now has started to kind of start to help out the government in their use cases there. Sekou, man, we'll start with you.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. I think that with Anthropic and Anthropic and Meta looking at this, there's a lot of possibilities in like what the U.S. government can actually pull from the private sector now with some of these things. I think that with Meta and the with Meta's use of Llama, giving it to U.S. government, that means that their models made to be trained on new data and things like that, right? Anthropic doing the same thing is not exactly the same because their models are they're pre-trained to do certain things. So the question is, like, in order for those models to be useful, it requires you to do training for them. Is there a pipeline now to Anthropic on some of our like national secrets and things like that in order for them to run it on their GPUs? Does the U.S. government have a giant server farm of GPUs out there that we don't know about? Like, there's a lot of questions that kind of come up with that, right? So the Meta one, like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, they can train models to do very specific things, stuff like that. I can see the purpose around that. But on the Anthropic side, there has to be some pipeline directly to them. And, I don't know. I'm not sure if a company that size is ready for that too. Right. Palantir took a long time to kind of like build up their credibility to be able to go and get all these big lucrative government contracts.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's interesting. It actually poses a lot of questions on there. Also, it's more, I'm using the Chat GPT on my cell phone right now through Apple Intelligence. It has a little logo letting me know that, hey, don't trust anything that this AI is providing you. Like, yeah. Imagine what's happening.
Hopefully, they don't have that logo. Hopefully, they don't have that with whatever they're making. You don't want that in defense.
Exactly.
Does the government even put a warning label on their type of partnership with their models?
Shoot. Oh man, I would hope not. I mean, I would hope that everything would be so. Everything. I would like that for everything that the government or the military uses to just be accurate and fast. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
Yeah.
So hopefully they wouldn't need to.
Nothing popped up ahead too. Of course. Why are we like trying to recreate every terrible version of Terminator right now? Why?
It's like a race. It's a race to do it.
So, let's have the government use AI models that are coming from the corporate world. Like, that's not the plot to any movie at all. Did anyone say it, right?
Yeah. No. We'll know we're in trouble if we see the cybernetic arm in the case. Remember that was in the movie somewhere? Like the first one, it was like in the case, If that pops up on someone's Zoom call, we're in trouble.
Nobody's trying to figure out how to create weapons of mass destruction here. That's a myth.
No, we won't let it make decisions on nuclear codes. No.
Definitely not.
Adrian, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, pretty much the same as Sekou's, but a couple more points. One is it's interesting that Palantir is partnering with Anthropic over OpenAI. And what is the reasoning behind that OpenAI is supposed to have the most accurate model that's out there, like the smartest one. So them going with Anthropic, which everyone has been impressed with Anthropic. So, but it could, really speak to something that's really specific, like what made them more likable than going with OpenAI, which just seems like it would make more sense. It seems like the Anthropic side, they focus on things that really specialize, like, really, really specialized tasks. So I think that may have given them the edge. And, when they're figuring out what's the best way to, augment what we do, enhance what we do with AI, and Palantir just has like a well of information. I think that was like the first thing that we heard about them was like, oh man, they got so much data, and they're about intelligence and really having, I don't know, like Mission Impossible level, like information, they got it. So they got the dossiers. So on the meta side of it, I can't, when I heard about them being like, hey, look at us over here too. We got, hey, defense people, you can use our model too. The first thing that I thought is just same thing I said the other week, man, which was, it's what Meta's doing, which is, we're just going to give it away for free to take away some dollars for these people at the top until we're able to get our legs underneath us and really make moves in the metaverse or wherever. This is the tactic for now. It's just kneecapping people here and there. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, it's a smart move. It's a really smart move, right? Don't let anyone get enough steam to get a lead on you. Because
it's like, if I can release something that does it 80% as well, sometimes you'll take an RC cola. We're at the, we're there.
Mr. Pibb.
Yeah, you'll take a Dr. Perky or something. You know what I mean? Whatever.
I think one of the interesting things and stuff of this too as well is it said the collaboration is intended to streamline, operations and also process complex data, and to make better decisions. It just seems like they're building a high-level government RAG application, and so that's what it seems like. And so from that, from that standpoint, I find it interesting too as well that I find it interesting as well that they are using, partners that decide to partner with Anthropic, over, other, potential partners and stuff as well. So, I mean, is that a signal towards, Anthropic's embedding process and everything stuff works better? Is that a signal towards, to be able to build a knowledge foundation, and on top of that, agents and everything? Is it better to use Anthropic and stuff in these areas and stuff? And so I think it's something to figure out and everything. I understand why you use AWS. Actually, no, I take that back. In the government standpoint, I would argue there's definitely potential way. There is better ways to use Azure, particularly too, because Microsoft has more access to GPUs over Amazon. And so I find that interesting as well. That you go with Palantir over a competitor, and also too, you go with AWS, over over Azure.
Yeah, what it is, once they've made a commitment and signed contracts to AWS, like changing to go in a different direction, and one is costly. But the government, they integrate pretty deeply into these things, not just with their technology, but their security protocols and things like that. So they're very slow to get to the cloud. Like being able to shift to another cloud would be just as slow for them. So it's not that, I don't think it's an optimal choice. I think it's just based off of the amount of technical debt they'd have to incur in order to make a right turn.
Yep. I was gonna say that maybe tooling as well, because we always talk about the what's going to sell these at the end of the day. It's going to be the tooling.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because when we think about like, giving someone a model that's useful, but like the infrastructure used to train a model, infrastructure used to do inference on the model, not just like GPUs, right? Like the actual, CI/CD pipelines that get you from beginning to the end. That stuff is not easy. Like the Kubernetes cluster that's underneath all of that needs to get built. Like that stuff is pretty hard to recreate fast. And I'm sure that because Anthropic has to do this all the time, this kind of really shows maybe some of the differences also on OpenAI versus Anthropic. Like they must have a really good tool chain over on the Anthropic side if they're able to like compellingly like do this. Because like I said, like it's not having given them a model is not super useful unless they give them the tools to train it.
Yeah.
And like they have to have GPUs over there for it to be useful. Just giving you a generalized, model is not great. And giving you a model that someone is pre-training, you're taking it in, you're using it. Like it's a really nice place to get like supply chained. Get a supply chain attack is to, attack Anthropic, right? So.
Okay.
Yeah,
we got, not to give anyone any suggestions. I'm sorry.
No, we're not helping anyone.
We're not helping anyone.
No, do not do these things.
Yeah.
Leave our U.S. companies alone.
Please. Oh my goodness, please.
All right, here we go. Recent developments from Google and OpenAI hint at a new era of automation's AI capable of more advanced reasoning and task management. Unfortunately, some of these indications have been leaked as of lately. So Google's Project Jarvis, an AI tool capable of taking over your computers for everyday tasks, was briefly exposed on Chrome Web Store. This tool, which can make reservations, purchase products, navigate files, represents Google's push towards AI-driven task automations that stimulate human interactions within digital interfaces. OpenAI, meanwhile, unintentionally leaked access to its power of the O1 model, a reasoning-based AI that can take extra time to think before responding or enhancing accuracy. So the new model goes beyond the capabilities of GPT-4o Omni, handling complex tasks like image analysis and data processing. Also, too, you guys had a question kind of behind the scenes stuff there. Are these leaks intentional sales strategies or marketing strategies? And so, Adrian, we'll start with you. What's your thoughts?
This is not my conspiracy. This was brought to us by Sekou. So I cannot take credit. I cannot take credit for this one. But he sends us these articles, and I take a look at it, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid too, because it's just the way that it's written. It's just the way that it's written. I'm looking at the one from Inc.com and the one from Tom's Guide here, and it's just like there's this model that was leaked, and the people who got their hands on it couldn't stop talking about the amazing capabilities of it. Let's go down the list, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, this seems as more as like a Zynga or whatever kind of link pool that you get at the bottom of a blog now, which is this clickbaity kind of, I forgot what that company, it was like Zynga or something I would always see, like powered by, but it seems like Zoomla or something, but like it seems like one of those clickbaity kind of things, but they're talking about things that really happened here. So it's really thinking, I'm thinking inside job too, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine here, right? This is Google. Tons and tons of like steps to do anything, to like tons of process to do the smallest thing, and someone just happens to leak something super interesting to the Chrome store, which is like folks don't just have production access to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Yeah. Yeah, to the Chrome store. That was interesting.
to the
Yeah.
Chrome store.
Yeah.
It's like, oops, I didn't know how to use a Chrome store. Oh, wait, I work at Google? No, it's clearly marketing. It's 100% marketing. They had some folks who installed this thing, and there's like, oh, you know, hey, we got some free telemetry data. All right, let's shut it down. Like, I feel like it's a, yeah.
They always get us like that. Oh my god.
So watch this. Past the leaks, what do you guys think of the features? You know, of this, and if it does come in reality. So it says that the Jarvis will have access to make reservations on your behalf, purchase product, navigate files. What do you guys think about some of the features and stuff there?
Sounds interesting. I'm not ready for it yet. I'm not ready for the AI to move my cursor, you know, or to talk with people on my behalf. Yeah, I'm not ready for it. Like, you know, if you hired somebody, right, and they, you know, made mistakes maybe, you know, 20% of the time, right? Like, if you knew you can get them, there's no way to get them to 100, would you still like work with that person? I don't know. I don't know if I still have that person, right? Yeah. Now we'll have the AI in here and its imperfect self. Like, come on, guys, step it up one notch. Like, gain some trust, but I don't know.
Interesting. So you're saying empathy can be extended to a human being, even if they're making 20% mistakes. But if your AI is making 20% mistakes, you're ready to unplug.
Unacceptable. Unplug. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, future robot overlords who are hearing what we're saying now, we're just joking. We would never unplug you. You know. But the thing is, we have an AI doing some things, and AI can do things faster. If I can have someone to make 10 calls and do it, you know, 20% bad through the 10 calls, right? AI can make like 100 calls, 200 calls, right? That 20% means a lot more in that case than it does for, you know, on the smaller side of these things, right? So as you like become more capable, like the error rate matters so much more because of how much more you're affecting, right? What was it? It's a pretty good example. Like, we used to work at a company that we would do like deployments, and we would do like we would like throw up a canary, right? A canary is essentially it's based off of the canary in a coal mine. You have a canary go into a coal mine, and if it doesn't come back up, then there's gas in the coal mine. In this world, we used to say, like, 2% of the fleet. 2% of the fleet. If we deploy this code and 2% of our fleet breaks, sure, it'll be like a couple small customers that might be upset. Good to get, but we'll know that those bills are broken, and we can roll out things faster and get good signal, right? But like when you have like, say, 500 servers, 2% is like a whole company. It's like a whole company is a 2%. You will let that number fail just so you can see if your things work. Like the math, like as it gets larger and it gets faster, you kind of have to you can't treat it the same, You
can't. Yeah. And that's why you can't have that secretary who you've known forever, probably a friend of your family's, you know what I mean? She's working for you now. She's a little bit slower, and it's okay when you got 20 clients, but we're scaling up now, Betsy, we're not going to be able to run, you can't write all of these emails, and it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, you can't use WordPerfect for those, I tell you.
Yeah, you can't. We've had All of these people, we're running out of people who can install Windows 95. You know, for you to get this to work.
You know
what I mean?
I thought it took me a second there. I thought you was using canary as like a keyword to an application, and then when you kept talking, you said if the canary doesn't come back up, we know there's gas in there. So they were using real birds.
It's a real bird. This is a real thing. Canary in the coal mines. They say. When they say, "Hey, you guys need to ship some canaries," we're talking about birds dying. So, that is what they're talking about. So
that's unfortunately hilarious. It took me a second to process. But, hey, all right, cool. So with Project Jarvis, I'm gonna give you one application. If it can work well, I'll be extremely excited about. Skip lag. So you guys know what skip lag is?
Skip
Adrian?
lag. Yeah.
Vaguely. So skip lag was a flight booking alternative and built by a software engineer a couple years ago. And so basically he figured out that if you are in Miami and you're trying to fly to Atlanta, sometimes it was cheaper to book a flight to New York with a layover in Atlanta, and you just get up from the layover.
Oh, that's
right. And so he created this whole algorithm and so forth, and it worked for quite some time. Like it dropped. He found like significantly cheaper, flights. And then I think it was like American or United Airlines ended up suing him, but he won. He won, which also kind of like put skip lag at a higher brand level.
Now he also had Young Thug's lawyer, right? Same guy.
I'm not sure. We have to confirm that on next episode. But with a tool like Project Jarvis, if it has, here we go. If Llama creates an open source version of this, one thing I would definitely be excited about is the ability to have an AI agent that is surfing, looking for those flights at all time. It's like flights are similar like gas prices. It's like the price will skyrocket up at night and everything. They're kind of cheap around 4 or 5 a.m. In different areas. Also, too, your IP address could have some impact to the prices on the end too as well. And so if I can have a AI agent, and also too, I can tell this agent, if I'm going to a conference or whatever, to search, throughout the multiple different sources, looking for the cheapest flight that has a window seat, and stuff, whatever it may be. And then once you find it, book it, and book it and stuff with the information, just kind of simulate confirmation. And so something like that, where we're talking about, autonomous, agents, or AI-driven task automation is something I'd be extremely excited about.
Yeah, and it would drive Ticketmaster crazy, because that's basically like what you're describing is the ticket scalping kind of model, or the reselling market or whatnot. They got bots to just look at the concert and just like constantly try to figure it out. And as soon as they figure out a way to they bump up that security, it adapts with them. It's like so it's tough because we're gonna move into a place where it's going to be AI that's doing all of that, really interactions like that online, like whatever, I'm thinking like a guild of hackers runs the scalping operations or the ticket resale operations now. That's really going to be offset by AI.
So it's like being a sneakerhead all over again.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I just looking for flights.
Yep. Grown folks stuff. Yeah.
I just realized that CAPTCHAs are gone. They're going to be gone.
Yeah.
CAPTCHAs will never be used again once that actually is released. because there's no way to the captures assume that someone is scraping a site, right, and protecting against scraping, programmatically scraping it, right. Imagine having an AI running on your system. A little box comes up and says, "Hey, which one of these are cats here?" and just fills in that information. Like, what can you do with that? There's no way to stop that. So that technology that's completely useless technology now.
Yeah, it's going to be something else.
Was the technology like caption? Was it too early? Because like I understand the use case and so forth for it to come out, but now we're kind of entering into the world of AI driven task automation. I would argue you probably need it more so now than ever.
I'm trying to think. I guess if it's, I don't know. The thing is these computers have vision, right? They can see. That is a core thing. It's different from looking at a page, being able to see things, meaning like, deducing things based off of what's on your screen. And I think that's the place. That's what's kind of changed. You always could use like, there's like user acceptance testing software, Selenium, right? Selenium can move a cursor and take a screenshot of the page and then do an action based off of that screenshot, right? Which is technically uses some machine learning, like some very basic things. But with these more advanced systems, I can't see how that's going to survive. I feel like, we built it assuming that the computers would never be able to see. So
that's a great point.
Yeah,
that's a really great point. Having the ability to see.
Yeah, when you gotta be running, we're like, we should have never taught the computers how to drive. How this action movie starts.
Here we go. University Music Group has created a new partnership with Clay, which is a AI music company. So it said the Clay is going to develop a large music model, LMM, that respects artist contributions and redefines AI's role in music. Say Clay aims to create an AI-driven ecosystem for generating music experiences that complement rather than compete with the artist's original work. I said the partnership aligns with Universal's Music Group goal of driving innovation while upholding ethical standards in the music industry. He said Clay's team, including experts from DeepMind, ByteDance, aims to make AI music production a seamless part of daily life, emphasizing cultural relevance and ethical considerations in AI-generated content. So the collaboration is the latest Universal Music Gear series, a partnership advancing generative AI technologies in ways that honor human work. Let me start with this one. What's the professional way of saying "I told you so"? What's the professional way of saying that?
I'm glad that we all have come to the same conclusion.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm glad that we all came to the same conclusion because I got some heavy pushback on this like a year ago. That we'll enter into this partnership of this AI, driven ecosystem and stuff. And this makes sense. I would say this makes sense. Is also concerning. This makes sense for Universal Music Group to partner, with creating their own LMM, stuff too as well. And so I get it. I can see how this can work. I can see that you are now hiring a new artist, a new producer, and when they kind of have, writer's block, and they kind of like, tune in over there to the LLM to kind of like help them write out some of the, the rest of the lyrics or the hook and stuff, what it may be. Also too, along with some of like, even some of the songs. I mean, Adrian, you and I was talking about Timbaland, and he's starting to use, was it Sona, as
Suna.
well, Suna, and then we also saw another artist who's kind of like developing, some AI driven content too as well. So Again, I just see this as a tool. I see this as the ultimate, assistant, and I think now these tools and systems are becoming specialized into focus areas like music. There are some. I think the definition of complement the artist rather than compete is very different per artist. And also too, how do you distinguish that? What's the definition of that? I mean, because one could say scanning the first 2 paragraphs of a New York Times article versus copying the entire segment is complementing it instead of competing with it, or you go in or you just hire New York Times writers, to as well. And so I think that definition is going to be unfortunately defined by the music group and not the artists. And I think that's kind of where some concerns and stuff might be. Adrian.
Cool. Yeah. So I work in, adjacent to the music industry. So I found this one particularly interesting. So what Universal Music has gone through this year, has been a lot in the news. There's been a lot of layoffs. There's been a lot of really mergers, a lot of acquisitions, a lot of shifting of the org structure. So a lot of longtime people that have been there for, eons, were a part of some of your favorite songs are out the door now. And they're, Marlon's been saying it too. The shift seems to be, them focusing a lot more on the AI side of stuff with, them suing people, companies like Suno and everything. But meanwhile, they're doing business with this AI company, Clay, which when you put them next to their recent acquisitions or their recent partnerships, which include Indel, which is a company that's about generating music based on biofeedback, like your heart rate, other,
Indel?
Yep. Indel.
Wait a second. Wait, is that the same one that I use for? That's the one that I use to go to sleep. Is that the one you're talking about?
I think it's the same one. I think it's that same one. So they're gonna work with Universal Music to make basically this new model where you'll generate the music based off of the inputs from your body. So almost like a wearable.
Wait,
you can think.
Wait. I feel attacked right now. Feel personally attacked. I had no idea. I thought this was just like a simple app to help you go to sleep with some white noise.
No, it is that. Now you're about to get a music. You about to get a music version of that to help you go to sleep.
Yep.
Oh no! They're gonna be recording my pulse. Oh no!
It could be your pulse, and then it's gonna be like Aretha. It's just singing you to sleep. You know what I mean? It's gonna be amazing.
Oh man!
But so, one more thing Marlon's always said is that music labels do not innovate. They don't create. And this is, very much like, okay, well, it's them partnering with the creators on the AI side of it. Yeah. So if you look at the companies that they have Sound Labs, they got Indel, they got BandLab, right? And they also have Sound Labs, Indel, BandLab. Okay, BandLab has it's basically Fruity Loops. So Fruity Loops like company, but they also have a hardware device, right? So I envision a world where Universal Music, BandLab, they're able to maybe be a part of the whatever music you generate on that device will somehow be licensed through Universal Music or some kind of money flowing back that way. And I say that because they also have a partnership with this company called ProRata, which says that it can listen to an AI generated song and figure out the correct attribution on it. Now, when I brought this up to Sekou, he was like, cap, that may be cap there. So I'm hear more about what Sekou has to say about it. But that if that is true, that could be pivotal in a real, if they're able to pull that off, that would really change the game as far as AI generated music. You put it through a company like ProRata, and they'd be able to figure out, all right, Beyonce gets this, Taylor Swift gets, whatever. So it's really interesting. They have a couple of different products, and another one is a wearable. I'm thinking Universal Music Group could actually, with this, chest of or this roster of players, could actually release a wearable, possibly.
So is attributes, is that a technology?
It's like who wrote the song, or who owns the publishing on said song. So sometimes it'll be like, so who wrote it? The writer, producer, composer, performer. Everything gets split up according to rights with music, and everyone agrees to a certain percentage.
So in the technology landscape, this is either a contract or a JSON, if you will.
Mm-hmm. It could be. I mean, it could be. I mean, you made the argument. I know where you're going. If this is about the blockchain, it's going to the blockchain. Okay, it's a blockchain. Yeah.
Yes, I don't. This is my concern again. If you're going to do these things and you're going to streamline, and if you're doing things ethically, there's no reason not to put these things on the blockchain for the artists. There's no reason whatsoever. It's this is the same category as there's no reason why we should not be able to vote from our phone. None.
Yeah.
And everything is like, why won't you make this change? There's some things behind the scenes that benefit the people who doesn't want to see that change be made. And I see music labels in that same category, of doing so. It's particularly too when now we're going to live in a world where the fans will start making AI music as well.
Yeah. I think the music industry and the movie industry, especially motion, that whole area is super unique for AI, because in other places when there are innovation, it's like an innovation that happens within industry, but it transfers maybe to another place, right? Mm-hmm. But in this case, you have music created by artists who really get paid based off of their songs being the top songs and being played a lot and all the different things that go with that. Now you have AI, which can create a hit song, you're like a BBL Drizzy or something, and that could be the top song. And now the artists are back at this place where even if they're getting attribution, like you look at what's happening from selling CDs, which artists love the idea of CDs. So you can sell for $15. Maybe you just had to pay the company that did the distribution of these CDs, but the margins were higher.
Right.
To streaming, where the margins went lower and the amount of winners became smaller within there. Now they're going to get an even smaller share because they're going to get a fractional share of a song. Like, man, like there's going to be even less winners inside there. That actually make it so that, a Beyonce or one of these artists that end up getting added as a digital signature within these songs, maybe they'll get some money, but like how do you compete?
Not the same.
How do you compete with the song? Like, they use your portion of that song 10 times versus, this other artist that use, 20 times within the song. Like, what's that model to me feels like there's, I don't know. Why would you? Yeah.
So also for context as well. Here's a breakdown of some how the artists get paid, or the amount artists get paid per stream. I don't even know how to say this. Okay, Pandora is $0 and what is that? $0.0013. How do you even say that? Spotify is $0.0031. Amazon Music is $0.004 40 cents or 40 whatever it is. Deezer, $0.011. YouTube Music is $0.002. Apple Music is $0.008. Interesting enough, Tidal is the highest, $0.01284. And so when you times these times a million streams, it's like it's not a lot or anything, even for a million streams, stuff like that. Like you said, the payout, amusing CDs being sold, I mean, people could retire essentially, and stuff like that. But now to have a million streams, and like you said, I think that is going to get diluted, and stuff over time.
Yeah. That's why artists end up going on tour so much. That's where they can control the amount of money that they make and pull in large amounts of cash. It's interesting, but I don't know. The incentives to be an artist is like, I just
thought of something. That payout goes to the record label.
Then it gets another fraction.
That's not funny. All right, whatever. All right. So that payout goes to the record label, and then the artist gets a percentage of that.
Mm-hmm. Some artists have direct deals. Like, so we deal with artists with direct deals. Mm-hmm. So whatever percentage, we'll take out of that, our, kind of a working percentage there. But some artists don't go through a record label. They have direct deals, and just do distribution.
Wow.
But because that's the state of the record, the music industry. It's like, you would be using a record label, so excited about signing that record, deal, but that advance you got to pay back, and it's not like they're not really all the time rushing to put out your music either.
Adrian, you've been in the technology world of entertainment for quite some time and stuff now, and you've seen these worlds advance. In your opinion, in today's social media society, what are the benefits, if any, to sign with a record label versus being independent?
It depends. I mean, sometimes you need the money. Like the one thing that record label can offer you is two things. That is cash advances, and they can offer you radio play. And radio play is still big, still matters, and it's hard to get by yourself. Mm-hmm. Still matters.
So in this streaming world, radio is still a factor.
Radio's still out there. It still matters.
Wow.
That's still a factor.
Where does iHeartRadio sit in this? I guess
between both worlds.
Yeah. Because they also do concerts too as well. Interesting. How would you compare, if you can? How would you compare the relevance of radio today compared to TV commercials?
Radio way over TV commercials. I mean, I don't look at no. If my day, if I've looked at a commercial during my day, I had a bad day. My day wasn't so great. All right, I skip them. Okay, I'm skipping the commercials. I don't. That's just me. But if I'm listening to the radio, which I still do. I'm still listening to the radio.
I don't. That's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. Like I haven't listened to. If I listen to the radio, that means the internet, my Tesla has went out. I
got local radio stations that I grew up on. Like, so I've seen the DJs come and go, and it's been a fun little kind of listen for me for like so long. And
I'll take it a step further. A friend of mine's got into the Tesla, and he turned on the radio application, and I didn't know that existed. And I had the car, for like a year.
That's funny.
You know, because it was just like it was either podcast or like streaming.
Yeah.
You know,
you got a tape deck in there too. You got a tape deck in there too. You don't even know about. You know, just ask. You never asked.
Just realizing I've never used a radio on my car either. On my Tesla,
See?
I've never.
Oh man,
I've never
I'm
thought
really
of
on the
that.
dirt roads down here. I'm really on the dirt roads with y'all there. I told you. Yes.
I do miss talk radio. I'm sure that's still a thing. Ricky Smiley in the morning,
Ricky
and
Smiley,
yeah. I'm sure that's still a huge thing. I have not listened in a long time. A lot of folks are going to Sirius XM at some point, right? They become a big player of that middle ground. Not quite radio, but something
like
else.
the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
You know, it ramped up though during those Columbia House. Remember those?
Oh yeah. I remember
when that was going, dude. You know the record labels were getting paid, man. Like they had to. They had to be like a big grift, man. Like everyone was wrapped up in a scheme with the Columbia Record House, you know. And then your friend would get it, and he'd be like, "Yo, I got the new everything." Like, you know, get like me. Then a couple of months later, you know what I mean? The it changes. You realize you owe a bunch of money more, and you know it was a bunch of it was confusing.
You know, I'm really stuck on this. Sekou, when was the last time you listened to radio?
The last time I listened to the radio, I don't know. It's been more than a year, probably. It's probably more than a year. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Wait a second. I have listened to the radio, but it's in my wife's car.
That's not intentional. That doesn't count. That doesn't.
No one's getting excited about turning on the radio, Marlon, at the same time. It's not like I'm trying to catch like the Phantom.
No,
you know what I mean?
I understand. I understand that and everything, but it's like to even hear that the music industry is still getting paid, from radio plays. It's like amazing and everything to me because also too, I know like networks are still getting paid from commercials, but it's like what are the percentage of people who are watching this? And so like I got to my hotel yesterday. And just tired from just traveling, whatever, and I just kind of plopped on the couch here, turned on the TV, looking for a game or something. And I lied to you not. I going through the guide, I saw Fresh Prince first. All right, cool. I'm gonna put that on for a second. And so it was on a commercial, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling. And then I think I saw like Big Bang Theory. I said, all right, cool. I'm gonna put that on. For a strong 6 to 7 minutes. Not one piece of content play. It was all commercials.
Yeah.
I just end up turning it off.
It's crazy. Yeah,
I just end up turning it off.
That's me. Yeah. I would rather read. I'll read a book.
I'll tell you something. I would rather watch paint dry than just sit there and watch commercials like all day, just like
all different volumes.
You know what? I think it's not just folks who looking at commercial, how these places getting paid. It's the people like me who just like, I will pay anything and not to see a commercial. I will get the YouTube premium. So like, they're adding commercials to Prime. I guess I'm buying Prime's video upgrade now because I will not watch a commercial.
Buying Prime. Now I gotta get Prime.
Prime Plus, yeah.
I'm the same way. I refuse. Yeah. I refuse. Watch this. Even on our AI with Friends YouTube channel. So sometimes when I'm like making edits, whatever stuff on there, and that channel stays like kind of like it's the profile stays in there. And now I'm like some hours go by, a day go by, or whatever, and I need to go YouTube something. And immediately ads pop up. I'm like, ew, like, just like change this quickly. Just like, please hurry up.
Get out of here.
So yes, I'm the same way. I refuse. Yeah. I have additional question too. I'm gonna throw it in and stuff at the end and stuff there. I'm interested to see what you guys say. So here we go. Coming back to Perplexity. Perplexity CEO has sparked some controversy. This is funny and not funny. sparked some controversy because he has offered to replace the New York Times employees who are currently in strike and stuff right now. All right, so here we go. Recently found himself at the center of a controversy after offering his company's services to support New York Times during a tech staff strike. The New York Times members who handles the essential tech functions are demanding fair wages and other benefits. It says, although later clarified, the Perplexity offer was provided to do technical infrastructure rather than replace the staff. The incident has drawn attention to ethical tensions between AI companies and labor rights, especially as AI has increasingly stepped into traditional human-dominated roles. Sekou, this
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say this sounds like the ports, kind of like all over again, but I think it has some similarities. But go ahead, what you think?
Yeah, it definitely has a little bit of that feeling to it. Like, you know, folks, I don't like the idea of using AI threats as a way to like discipline folks, right? As a way to like, get folks in line.
Threats. That's hilarious. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, if you don't do this, I'll get an AI to do it for me.
It's
right.
It's very mob. It's mob-like.
Very
mob-like.
Very like, yeah.
You know?
So like, I see that's where it's going. It's like, that's not the going to be the last version of that we hear, but like, I think what actually is probably going to start coming out, like, some of these AI systems are good, some are not that great. We have yet to see true products that actually can generate actual revenue that are AI. Like, all the things we're seeing, everything is an expense on companies' balance sheets right now that has AI on it for that potential for the one day it will become useful. And man, I don't know. I think he needs to take a little bit of humble pie and take a step back a little bit. But especially it's Perplexity. Perplexity actually, like, of the AI companies that are out there, like, they have was it Sonos, I think is the name of their model, right? It doesn't like rank high compared to any of the other things that are out there. Like, of all the folks to talk,
Sonar,
yeah. Like, of all the companies to talk, it's probably not the one to talk. Like,
yeah.
Come on, you gotta be at least like, you gotta be up there with like a top model, something that's hitting some high ranks to be saying things like that. So, yeah.
Yo, I can't get this out of my head. You said it's real mafia like. I can just see CEOs waiting, to pull that card when it's gotten like too many, employee complaints or like whatever it may be. And the CEO is just like creeping up to the screen, like, oh yeah,
oh, you're
just waiting, just waiting to throw it down.
Pacing back and forth. Oh my god, man, that's funny. Yeah.
Oh man, you remember that was it? There's a South Park episode that is very, very infamous, where there's this guys that the folks that are saying that people are taking their jobs, right?
They took our germs.
They took our germs. Like, they took our germs. Like, it's. I can't wait for a South Park episode on this. They have to do it. I have to.
Oh yeah.
Adrian, what's your thoughts?
Man, I think that the humor is not lost on it to me, because we covered earlier back in October New York Times suing Perplexity. New York Times sends AI startup Perplexity cease and desist notice over content use. So, they sued them over their mid-level model. They're basically saying that, you know, you used our content in order to train your model, so they got sued. So you know, I see the humor is not lost in Perplexity. Then after them, you know, really, you know, perceivably not giving a fair wage to their tech team there, then staying back and being like, well, you know, I would love to generate articles for you if you wanted to, but, you know, I got plenty of them over here. I would love to help. But, you know, it seems like you got a lawsuit against us right now. My hands are tied. My hands are tied, but I would love to help. I would love to help you, you know. So it's very funny to me. It seems like, you know, just, you know, a good kind of humorous banter, but because it's like, you know, they're not like the top model out there. So it's that's what I think. I think that the humor is definitely there. It's not lost on me.
This is like sending flowers to the person that you cheated on after they get cheated on again, and saying like, "Hey,
that's a Drake move. That's a Drake move. Take care. Take care.
Oh,
hey, take care."
But on top of that, it's AI, so we're gonna be serving you the same thing that you gave us.
man.
The thing we took from you, we're gonna serve it back to you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is like. I'm not sure if this is an AI with friends thing that we find humor in these type of things. You know, this it may be, but it's like it's interesting. You know, it's like I don't know if you're trying to like band-aid the situation by kind of making it offer. You know, and also too, who to say is that he's not they're not the only one who made the offer. You know, all the rest of the offers could have just been private. You know, too as well, and so. But I do find it interesting, you know. Two things. I find two things interesting. I find the initial offer interesting, and I find the no response from New York Times interesting as well. It's not New York Times that create the you know the surge and stuff of this article. It was people who saw that this was made to New York Times that is like surging that this is a problem, and everything. But also too. New York Times didn't make a response as well. So I find that as well interesting. You know, so currently right now, you know, Perplexity is left on red, you know, or you know, they put privacy on the DMs.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what comes out of this, right? But you know, silence is a statement too, right?
That part.
So,
yeah, cool. So here, guys, I'm gonna lead this one and stuff here. As you guys know, I'm currently in New Mexico, Albuquerque, and I had the privilege of speaking at American Folklore Society, and so. If you don't know, folklore individuals are all focused around, you know, keeping and preserving things like, you know, historic artifacts, communities, languages, you know, and you know, a lot of these things. And so, I also have the privilege of a client of mine and a partner of mine is the famous Vizcaya Museum, you know, down in Miami. And so, if you haven't seen Vizcaya Museum and Gardens, it is a beautiful, beautiful place right there. Also in the water too as well. And it's initially started by an individual by the name of James Deering, which was his house. And he was kind of building gardens up in there. And so they turned it into, you know, a museum as well. So, you know, today I had some interesting discussion. My presentation today was basically how do you take individuals like historians and partner with today's technologists and technologist individuals and create a better or unique experience. And so the example of that, I'm working with Vizcaya Museum, and the head of technology, Jeff Gwynn, reached out to me some months ago and said, hey, you know, Vizcaya, we acquired a bunch of letters, historic artifacts from the founder of James Deering's, and these letters are from like the late 1800s or early 1900s. And essentially, you know, these are a lot of these ways, these are text messages. Some of these, these are, late 1800s. So a lot of these are text messages. These are communications, back and forth. These are deals, purchases, some happen back and forth.
By text message, you mean like letter writing, like letters?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah,
Gotcha.
letter and everything, but just like
1800s, they had the sidekick. They had the sidekick
right.
back then,
Yeah, so in today's it would be a text message to you send to somebody, but these are either typed up or written in cursive. And so how do you take those type of artifacts and digitize them in a way, but also to prepare them to be embedded into an LLM to have a conversational communication like agent and stuff with it that can talk to, and where visitors can have a unique experience and stuff with it. So I broke that down today of like how we built that in partnership with the Sky Museum. But along with that, I just had some interesting conversations, some things I probably would never thought of. And I met an individual by the name of OK, and he said he is right now trying to figure out how to translate and how to store, and build a model around African languages. And he said, right now there's just like, Google doesn't have access, or they haven't built these, these models around these languages. He said, he can find them, wildly across, multiple different, sectors. And so the whole process kind of got me thinking, and I just really thought it was unique, as well. And so also figured that I'll bring it to the front stage here, as a topic of like, what do you guys think? Like, or are we, I'm not gonna say we looking over, but like, what are some other ways that you guys are seeing, like, or how AI can be a pivotal role into history, kind of creating a different, or unique experience stuff moving forward?
Yeah. Oh man, this is such an interesting topic. I think one of the things we've talked about before is about how this AI movement is like, it's really based off of the English language. Transformers is based off of compiling English language. That is the basis to do any conversion, right? That's happening now. So being able to do training, being able to do things with other languages to make so you can have the same capability, I feel like that's an important step, right? Because otherwise we're just centering everything more upon like a Western approach or a Western view of the world. A lot of the languages in Africa for a large portion of time they're not written down. So we have a very rich oral tradition, but there are a lot of languages that never had characters associated to them.
Interesting.
So, years and years ago, like my father worked on specifically trying to get a language which served as a way to express the different dialects and tones that come from that the different languages make, specifically the Mandinkan languages, what they make, into an actual set of characters that could be entered into Unicode. Because if you get things into Unicode, now you have a place for translation. You can make a keyboard right off of that. And in this case,
real quick, can you explain Unicode?
Yeah, Unicode. So Unicode standard is essentially of binary conversions to a set of characters. So each one of these characters represent, it can represent a placement on a keyboard or so essentially when you look at a set of characters that are out there, generally Unicode is what was actually being used to create that. And also helps with language conversions and things like that, because an A on your keyboard could actually match another character that's on another keyboard, essentially.
Yep. And I remember this back in the day because you had to hold down the Alt key and then press the button combination, and then you lift it up and it's like, oh, there's my accent. Oh, with the accent mark on there. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a special Unicode code that you're kind of entering in to be able to access those keys. So imagine transformers, which are based off of UTF-8, right? Characters, which are, they start out as the English, like an English character, but they have conversions and things like that. But to actually like get the nuances in natural language processing requires you to actually look at lots of languages and go through the process of seeing how a sentence formed and those different languages. Because just because you say I go to the store, in our language is not this exact, you're like ordering for another language when they say the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
So for the most part, all these AI things all the AI tools and that we're looking at, they are definitely 100% like English is becoming even more of a dominant language through this process.
The only other one that I can think of is Mistral. Mistral out in France. Right now they got the what English, French, and German are what they're specializing in now. But again, with dialects and stuff, this article that I'm reading now from TechCrunch talks about how, they want to get into the content moderation game. All right. So content moderation across different languages, everything like that. As they're doing that, they're finding, bias towards some African-American vernacular English, AAVE, being labeled as more aggressive than it really is by definition. So there's so many with language, it's so many different nuances. But something like that is definitely to be aware of.
Let me ask you this: with the character being such an important role in language, I got a friend of mine who he's Cuban and his first language was Spanish. He speaks fluent Spanish, he speaks fluent English and everything, but he's also told me that he cannot read Spanish. Like he can't read Spanish, he can only speak it. Which is interesting too as well, because now we're in a world where voice models are so powerful. Do you think that we can simply live in a world currently now where you can talk to a voice model and have it translate back into a different language without the character base level stuff of it, without that? Or do you still need
you still need the processing, right? So what was it? There's it would be a good example, right? And some languages, if you're talking to your significant other, you say I love you, right? One example, right? And another language, it would be you are love. They mean the same thing, but different ordering. But you have to actually done training on those nuances to do a good conversion. That's why a lot of translators actually don't work that well, because they miss the actual nuances that are out there. There's no real perfect translator out there that really exists. That's why there's whole localization teams that are in every company. They're responsible for making sure that you actually get accurate translations as you're going from user to user that's out there.
Yeah, Pacquiao wasn't saying any of that stuff. That translator was just playing around the whole time. Just like, go ahead.
Just
making up your own sign language, everything.
Yep. Yeah.
Didn't some translator get in trouble for that? With it, like she said she could translate it, and she was just like making up things, and somebody caught on to it.
She was just doing something, and it was not the actual thing. It was not it. Like I think it was like for was it like a city council or something or some.
Yeah.
Talk about hallucination.
Something
talk about
official.
Talk about human hallucinations, just making up stuff and stuff over there.
Exactly.
My question is, the audacity. We should use this word. It's like one of our words. The audacity to get up, put your shirt on in the morning, drive your car to this event, and it's like, and you are going to fake sign. I bet what happened is they're like, does anyone know how to sign?
Fully committing to it too.
Yeah, I'm sure they're like, does anyone know how to sign? Oh, I think Janice knows how to sign. Right?
She's like, I got this.
I got this. It's easy. I see it on TV all the time.
And also to add to the audacity of it is to do this underneath the umbrella of the government.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be. I mean,
like police officers.
Me,
right
that's the
there.
main. Yeah, right there, right there. You don't think anyone's going to see this later? You don't think anyone's going to bring this up? No.
Somebody was recorded like 15 seconds of her, sent it to a friend of theirs that they know that can speak sign, and got a text message back and said that person is absolutely saying nothing. It's just to like you said, have the audacity to do that, the boldness to do that. That's hilarious.
Yep.
Here, I know, Sekou, I know you had one too as well. I'm gonna throw out a bonus topic instead as well. We're currently right now we're streaming live, and we're streaming live to multiple platforms, YouTube, Twitch, and so on and so on. I'm also a believer and agreeer that the simply streaming and the time that some of your favorite and top streamers will eventually replace TV. And you will have your live streamings from your favorite streamers, artists, even TV shows, and then too you will still have your streaming services, which are movies, things like that, as well. And so eventually we will have hundreds and thousands of people who understand that basically every Wednesday night AI with Friends comes on, and it's like almost like a guide how we used to watch Fresh Prince, Martin, because we knew what time it was coming on. You rushing home to watch the Cosby Show, like whatever it may be. And so I think a lot of that is going to come back in the streaming streaming. So that the question is, what role do you think AI will play in this streaming universe that eventually we'll live in?
Oh, we won't be there. Simple, we won't be there. It'll be our AI. Our AI avatar will be in there.
Exactly.
Taking on the topics that we feed it.
Yeah, crushing it.
Crushing it.
I'm looking at the Notebook LL thing. I'm like, crush that. You ever had to redo one? I had to redo. I was like, redo this podcast. Let's focus more on this specific thing.
Oh yeah, they just added that in. Yeah, you can tell it to like, oh, I want to hear more about this subject in the podcast. You do. Yeah.
So good.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to my fleet of AI-based podcast shows. I'm gonna send out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said this.
Good.
I said a couple months ago at this conference, I said we're gonna live in a world where it's gonna be a fully AI generated podcast that's gonna be talking about your favorite sports teams, talk about your favorite players, as well, and then just like the everyday of what's happening to them, and you'll just subscribe to, Lakers AI podcasts with like giving your everyday updates from players getting traded to front office things to even like the finances of what's going on with the Lakers. This new merch is available. All these things, and so I definitely believe we'll definitely get there. So for sure.
Yep. And who knows? I mean, no one would have known. Who would have known that the interface to end all would be a chat window? That you can get so much done in a chat window. It's really, it's impressive when I think about it. I would not have thought that it would have been that interface would have been the one that's revolutionary.
Yeah. I would not have thought it'd be the one that wins is the chat window. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's like, isn't that like the most basic app that a lot of us started on.
Yeah,
right.
I was about to say that.
Our
Yeah.
original experiences were, what was it? Depending on the age.
Hello,
My first
Hello
was
World.
Hello World. It's a was it? I'm trying to think of the chat system. Was it ICQ? That was one of them.
ICQ. I had AOL, AIM, AOL Instant
Yeah,
Messenger.
yep.
Was my first
Yep.
one. Yeah.
AOL Instant Messenger. That was a big thing. That's a lot of folks. That was like their first true interaction with technology. Right. Look at us here. We're starting all over again.
Is it like that though? It is. It is like that. Wow. Now that I think about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Millennials, boy, I tell you. Look at us go.
Sekou, I know you had a bonus topic there too as well. What you got?
Oh, where's my bonus topic? You gotta give me a hint.
Xbox.
Oh yeah. So this is a new one. This is actually like just breaking that Xbox AI is now becoming a thing. Microsoft is now pushing out updates to Xbox to integrate AI into them. That is. Why don't you pull up the article?
Can you elaborate and stuff here? Like what is it going to do?
Well, imagine having a nice little. Imagine having a chat box in on your Xbox where you can talk to Copilot and ask it different questions about things. Well, now the question is, we've gone from marketing things to like business folks, adults, things like that. You're putting on an Xbox. These are the same people who will cuss at you playing any of the video games online, right? Say the most terrible thing, and you are going to put this in their hands, right? Like, I feel like this is something that I think you do need to like have some type of age controls on some of these things.
Yeah.
Right. Just to like, I don't know. I feel like there's nothing good going to come out of giving teenagers access to an AI powered natural language chat box that they can use to conversate with. Like what type of terrible things do you think are going to happen in these rooms?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully they keep it to the like very minimum offering at first. Like, because looking at the release notes, it looks like it's suited towards the search first. So like it gives an example, cozy farming games with fishing or FPS games with zombies. So, maybe it'll be less out of the what's it called? The lobby. It won't be in the lobby. It'll be on the search side, because I think that what this could do actually is give people, a way to, just like a really easy entry point for some non-gamers, for them to be very specific about what they want. So like, you got a non-gamer person who wants to get up there and, cozy farming game with fishing. It does sound like someone who doesn't game that heard about some other game and, it was this one cozy farm game with fishing, it'll just do a better job at finding that.
So are we talking about the ability to tell your Xbox AI to update my shooting settings in Call of Duty so I can be more accurate?
Not
that aimbot.
The aimbot. Oh no. Yeah. Not quite. Not yet. Right now, it's just
vanquish my foes. Vanquish them now.
I feel like this is how really the Skynet storyline goes, right? It gets on Xbox, then it takes over the U.S. government because they're over there using the AI models. Well, let me stop my conspiracies. Someone's gonna take me serious here.
And let's also add in that this is Microsoft, so they're gonna have 3 Mile Island back in this, maybe. And
why?
So,
why?
They're gonna have the juice to, beef up this natural language search approach. They're gonna have the juice for it. So maybe
like it's
I
just,
don't know.
maybe it's just my dislike towards Xbox. I will give some grace here and say Microsoft has done some really great things, in the past decade or so. And the only I can think about with Microsoft at this time is just like, remember 3 Rings of Death?
Oh, the Red Ring of Death.
Yeah,
man. I remember that, man.
I can see that coming back at the end of a prompt that doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
The Red Ring of Death. What was
my
that?
God. If I got
Xbox
blue screen of
360?
death, blue screen of death, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I am
360,
excited about, at least when it comes to the gaming world and AI. Was it AI powered NPCs? I think that's going to be something interesting.
Yeah.
Which is also, think about it, what's the difference in AI powered NPC and like a chat bot, right? Like it's just different interface, right? So, but just like I'm imagining, I used to play the game, it's called Skyrim, right? You go in and walk to a person and you get your little quests and things like that. And they always say the same thing, right? Now, these guys are actually like having interesting dialogues. They have something to say to you that is unique. I feel like that is a level of immersion that's an AI product that someone's going to pay for. They're going to pay for that one.
That what you said could possibly be the holdup of GT6.
Oh, yeah. I bet you GT6 is going to have AI. They're going to have to.
That could
they have to. Yeah.
Integrating, LLMs to NPCs that have like just an additional conversations, and it changes every single time. And it's all based off, it all is based off the IDs of materials and things and clothes, stuff that you have on, the car and stuff that you're driving, the mission that you're on, and so it creates different responses, so that could be the holdup of GT6.
And I'm gonna also throw another one in the mix here, which was this guy Will Wright, and I think he did he do freaking God of War? But anyway, he released this game called Spore back in 2008, and you start off as a single celled organism and you slowly evolve into like an interplanetary creature by going through like evolutions. You get 2 legs, you kind of start as like a little thing, you literally evolve into a whole thing, and this would be perfect for the NPC and the if you were to put AI to this was made back in 2008. Like if you were to put AI to that and you have maybe an approach that's generative along the way, that's adapting to however it is that you're what you're how you're behaving in this environment. I don't know what happened to that game. It kind of came and went, but I just saw a Reddit thread that said it's still playable. So
really,
still worth it.
Wow.
Let me ask y'all this. This is definitely an ego question. How does it feel to just throw out some of these use cases, and even if it's at a basic skeleton level, you have an idea or how to build it? Because even in my head, I could definitely figure out and know how to build an LLM in a GT6 environment for the NPC that all focuses back to the character, the mission, the city, what's going on and stuff around them. Like I for sure have a skeleton aspect of how to like create that.
Yeah. And it's just like with any game, it's going to be in layers. Like it's going to need, I was just talking to my son about this today. It's like game development is so fascinating to me because you have to be a specialist in so many different areas. I mean, or a game company has to be a specialist in so many different areas. They got to be a specialist in real-time communication and being number one. If you're talking about a multiplayer online game, rendering, optimization, so many, like it's so many, huge details that are involved in that. And but yeah, what you just laid out right there, like it does feel good. It feels good because it is, kind of, when I saw the magic of technology as a little kid, I wanted to be able to be involved. Like, and I think that some people feel like that about music. They want to pick up the guitar too. And me, I wanted to, I wanted to get behind the keyboard. Just to be honest with you, I wanted to get
with it being said, too, Rockstar Games, if you want to figure this out, we can build it for you. Us three right here, we can build it for you. We will gladly take 2025 off to make sure that this gets shipped at the end, Q4 2025. We can build this for you. Holla at us.
No biggie.
All right. Well, guys, man, we've had another great discussion and stuff here, man. We've discussed here Anthropic, and Palantir. Anthropic partnering also with Palantir and AWS, for on the government defense side, along with Meta, also too, making some of their models available for government entity as well. And then we talked about some of the leaks, like things like Project Jarvis from Google, which can control your computer to do certain actions and stuff as well, along with how it lines up with the leak of OpenAI's O1 model. And so it looked like this kind of become a marketing trend, if you will. We talked about Universal Music Group and their unique partnership with Clay AI in the music world. And so you say the whole focus there is for this new partnership to not compete with the artist, but complement the artist. And so I guess in the coming years, we'll figure out what that means. And then also, Perplexity offers a interesting, interesting offer to New York Times, and says like, hey, as your staff is over there striking, our models, some of our servers can help you, in these weeks as well. And then finally, we also talked about just kind of the role of what we're seeing with historical artifacts along with folklore. And then we added some bonus topics in there for fun too as well. So, man, this has been great, man. This has been great. Guys, how you feel about it?
Great,
awesome.
Good. Awesome episode.
Great episode.
Well, guys, definitely, man. If you want to follow me, stuff there, I am Marlon Avery in all platforms, along with the podcast, which is I am AI with Friends podcast on all platforms as well. Adrian, Sekou.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, you can follow. Yep, you can follow me as Sekou the Wise on Twitch and TikTok. Adrian.
And I'm gonna get my more of a unified name, but I'm Green Lantern on TikTok, and I'm Infamous Adrian on Twitter. That's where you can find me on X. Sorry. Yeah, I know.
Wait,
I'm gonna get it together. Huh? What?
First of all, there's no way for you to get Green Lantern on all platforms.
Oh, Green_Lantern. Sorry, and it's with an RN. It's missing an E there at the end. So yeah, it's kind of thrown together. I didn't, I honestly, TikTok really stuck around, didn't it? Like I didn't think it was gonna really be anything. When I made that, it's like, oh, this is. They're making dances now. They're making dances on this thing.
What was it called? What was it called? Was it Musically? Before they got acquired by ByteDance, it was Musically, and then it changed over to TikTok. Well, it looks like that ban is still kind of like being extended. So we'll see. Well, guys, man, this has been a great episode. Man, so until next time, tune in next week. We'll be available every week and everything. Wednesday, 9 p.m. live stream, and then also too, you can listen to this episode on all your favorite podcast platforms. Until next time, we are out.
Peace.